Hello viewers, my name is Wrongways Gamgee, and welcome to Quick and Dirty Roleplaying. What's the Quick and Dirty Roleplaying channel all about? The Quick and Dirty Roleplaying channel serves two purposes. One, it's a channel dedicated to the quick and dirty roleplaying game system created by yours truly. And two, it's a channel where I talk about my views on the tabletop RPG hobby, tabletop RPGs, and how to make the most out of your tabletop RPG sessions. There's a reason why I call the channel Quick and Dirty Roleplaying instead of the Quick and Dirty RPG system. To me, Quick and Dirty Roleplaying is a specific paradigm for tabletop roleplaying, a sort of philosophical examination of a particular style of tabletop roleplaying, if you will. Having said that, let's address the following scenario. So picture this. You're playing D&D or Pathfinder with your group. Your DM is running a published adventure that they've been looking forward to for a long time. The players, however, don't really express curiosity or anticipation towards the plot, or their own motivations, or in learning the rules. They've been through multiple combat encounters, but whenever they grab that d20 to make an attack roll, they ask, "What do I add to this roll again?" If they even ask at all. Meanwhile, when they do act upon a course of action, it's one that either deviates from the plot, or that leads to a dead end. Despite the player's genuine effort to invest themselves into the game world, the DM gives indications that they're heading toward a dead end because of the demands of the published adventure, instead of being flexible with the locations of MacGuffins or other important plot elements. While this keeps in line with the world is the world, it also kills the flow and leaves the group dissatisfied. So whose fault is it that the session is just bleh? Is it the players for not being invested in the plot, or for not taking the time to learn the rules? Is it the DMs for not incorporating their motivations into the published module, or for not providing a quick reference guide for the most commonly used rules? Or is it the system's fault for not being newbie friendly, or for incentivizing min-maxing over allowing for various approaches to be as equally viable as possible? I've noticed a number of D&D related channels focus on published adventures such as Curse of Strahd, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Storm King's Thunder, Strixhaven, and so on. I've never run any of the 5th edition published adventures, but I have run Ashes of Middenheim for Warhammer Fantasy 2nd edition, though never to completion. The backstory for this adventure includes a brief history of the city of Middenheim, a list of Middenheim's movers and shakers, a map of the city, and a description of every major area of importance in and under the city. There are even ideas for adventures to go on before, during, or after the events of this portion of the campaign. As for how to inject the PCs into this campaign, the book suggests that the PCs should have completed the introductory adventure from the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd edition book as a prelude to Ashes of Middenheim, but barring that, the group will just have to do some work in incorporating themselves into the campaign, but with no tips on how to do that. The issue I see here is that even if players were to create characters that are ultimately tied to the city of Middenheim, their background and motivations will just end up playing second fiddle to the adventure module itself, unless their motivations are to see the plot to its conclusion. I am, at the time of this recording, in a D&D group that is going through the Waterdeep Dragon Heist published campaign. I've incorporated the background elements I selected for my 5th edition character into the setting, but they're ultimately irrelevant with regards to the campaign itself. Therefore, I've made it a point to have my character get involved in the conflicts that are currently going on within the campaign, because my character is an adventurer and he goes on adventures. Otherwise, why make a character in the first place? To an outside observer, we're just a group of nosy adventurers getting involved in affairs that don't really seem to concern us, and that's a valid assessment. This is one of those disconnects between creating a character whole cloth and pre-made adventures. If a PC's backstory or motivations are not going to be the major focus of the adventure or the campaign, how can a DM expect their players to invest in the adventure that they're running when their characters are fungible? Fighter Joe died during the adventure. Well, bring in Fighter Fred and carry on as normal. All it seems to matter is that there's a body with a pulse and a sword-swinging arm, at least when it comes to the importance of having fleshed out characters for pre-made adventures. If you as the DM want your players to care more about what's going on in a pre-made adventure that you're running, you're going to have to let go of the rigidity of the plot and of the world being the world in order to incorporate their backgrounds and motivations into the adventure itself. You don't have to necessarily expunge the adventure entirely, because the plot elements and MacGuffins that piece the sequence of events together don't have to be locked down into a specific time and place, if progressing the plot is that important to you. On the other hand, if you're keeping track of time and the PCs don't engage in certain events in the plot, the thing that happens when the group chooses inaction happens and the plot moves on. Even if the adventure reaches an ultimate lose condition, if the group is pursuing other goals and the world around them changes the way that their adversaries want it to because the adventurers fail to stop them, keep going. Keep going, but make it hurt for them in a way that makes sense in the narrative, because pain is a symptom of something deeper that has not been dealt with yet. While playing a pre-made adventure incentivizes players to follow the breadcrumbs, even if there are multiple breadcrumb tracks that could lead to multiple conclusions to the adventure, it disincentivizes them to develop character backgrounds and motivations that are not tied to the adventure itself. For that, you may as well have a roster of pre-generated PCs with limited customization in areas where it doesn't disrupt the plot. While I don't have scientific data to back any of this up, I suspect that systems in play and the structures we participate in incentivize the behavior of both players and DMs or GMs, and changing the systems and structures will most effectively change undesirable player and moderator behaviors. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment, as I'd like to know what your point of view is regarding this subject matter, or if you had similar experiences to what I presented in this video. Take care, folks, and play to find out what happens.